to nobility. Ollie danced through life with frivolity. Parties and balls, a life so grand. Little did she know what fate had planned. Ollie, Ollie, the wandering candlewick, chosen by Sybil in her destiny's down. Escaped from towers of paper to the open road, a reluctant cleric with powers bestowed. From luxury, thrust into robes, surrounded by tomes and dusty old globes. But Ollie's mind, sharp as a tack, mastered the legalese others did lack. Contracts and bylaws, she knew them all. Her litigious prowess made bureaucrats fall. In mazes of paper would she find a way to bend the rules and save the day. A holy symbol in a divine dream. Not all in the tower is as it may seem. A true the tower across the land. But Ollie sees more than meets the eye. All timelines at once, futures that fly. Past, present, future, all intertwined, sometimes leaving the present behind. But Ollie sees more than meets the eye. All timelines at once, futures that fly. Past, present, future, all intertwined, sometimes leaving the present behind. Library cat, shrouded in mystery, follows Ollie through every history. With glowing eyes and silent paws, it guards her path without pause. Ollie, Ollie, the wandering candlewick, chosen by Sybil in her destiny's down. Escaped from towers of paper to the open road, a reluctant cleric with powers bestowed. Cut from luxury, thrust into robes, surrounded by tomes and dusty old globes. But Ollie's mind, sharp as a tack, mastered the legalese others did lack.
Oh, hoist up the sails, let the winds take a blip, for Thaddeus Turnpike commands his ship. For good of the waves, a sailor so bold, with magical powers and a heart of gold. Behold, Thaddeus sailed the endless sea, with little Boo as wise as can be. Through tempest and tide, they roam far and wide, the Turnpike legacy their unfading pride. From the mighty Turnpike line he hails, with the lineage of captains braving the gales. A scion of seafarers fierce and grand, with the spell on his lips and the sword in his hand. Behold, Thaddeus, master of the spell, with little Boo through heaven and hell. They dance with the stars, they flirt with the dew, their laughter echoes in the ocean's blue. An owl for his mate, little Boo's his name. Together they soar in fortune and fame. With little Boo, his talents wrapped in light, they summon the winds and the stars to their fight. A curse of great power, a gift or a bane, Thaddeus wields it with little to fame. A rogue with a charm, a sailor with flair, he faces each curse with nary a care. Behold, Thaddeus, the sea's arcane knight, with little Boo in the pale moonlight. Through whispers of magic and the salt-laden air, the Turnpike adventure none can compare. So sing of the Turnpike, the legend, the tale, of Thaddeus and Boo setting sail. For where the map ends, their journeys just start. The sea's in their blood, magic in their heart. So sing of the Turnpike, the legend, the tale, of Thaddeus and Boo setting sail. For where the map ends, their journeys
Salome's fields a halfling stood tall, sea gray eyes a fighter's call. With Fiona's love and Angus' smile, his world was bright for a little while. Oh, Harold Gray with list in hand, a promise made, a journey planned. Each task he'll mark, each dream fulfill. For those he's lost, his heart beats still. From Zakar streets to golden fields, their family loved the greatest shield. They dreamed of wonders near and far, penned on a list beneath the stars. Oh, Harold Gray with list in hand, a promise made, a journey planned. Each task he'll mark, each dream fulfill. For those he's lost, his heart beats still. Young Angus fell on distant shore, while Fiona's kiss would come no more. A drunken noble, a vengeful blade, left Harold's world in darkness laid. But from his grief a purpose born, to honor vows that he had sworn. The list unfolds a final wish, a blade resisted a gutted fish. Now Harold roams through joy and strife, to live for three in one short life. From mountains high to oceans deep, this solemn pledge he vowed to keep. With bowler hat and iron will, he faces each task with hard-won skill. For every deed he sees it through, he feels their love forever true. And when the final task is done, when every battle's lost and won, he'll close his eyes, his duty clear, knowing his loved ones drawing near. In afterlife they'll meet again, their love eternal, free from pain. The list complete, their dreams fulfilled, a promise kept, a future will. Oh, Harold Gray, your journey's long, but in your heart they're never gone. With every dream that you fulfill, Fiona and Angus are with you still.
Hello! Hello! Welcome back to You Are Legion, the D&D game where you, the audience, can join in and be a part of the story as the voices inside the head of one of the party members, because in this game, you are Legion. My name is Coy. I'm going to be your game master today, and I'm joined by some incredible people. We have Claire Hogan as Arlie Candlewick. I got Michael Keane as Harold Gray. I have Sam Gilroy, whose hand came up a little early, but it's there. Thaddeus Turnpike, I see you. And welcome back Sean Boyd as Aelric Tiamaticatus. I'll get that right one of these days. Normally, this is where I would introduce our special guest, who'd be playing as the Warforged Legion. But Legion was sent into the Arcane Forge, and all the diverse deities embedded in Legion's frame were released back into the ether. Indeed, where is Legion? Did the construct even survive the release? But maybe we should go back a little more for our viewers who may be joining us for the first time. Legion, gods, what's going on here? Let's go around the table, introduce our party members. We're still starting off on Season 2, beginning with Sam. Why don't you tell us how you're playing and a little something about the story so far?
I was muted, and I am playing Thaddeus Turnpike, son of Jersey Turnpike and the Turnpike family, who is currently, my sister is currently in control of the city of Kalaman, which is causing some political strife. And a fun fact about me for any new visitor here, because it will be pertinent to this episode, is that Thaddeus should have been permadeathed by the rules of the game, but the Krampus gave up its chance at escaping the Legion's construct, possibly its very essence itself, to restore Thaddeus back to life. But then time things happened, and Thaddeus never died in the first place. So that's a fun fact about Thad.
Nice. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Exactly. Amazing. Thank you, Sam. I'm going to go next to Claire. Claire, why don't you introduce us to your PC or your party member, player character, and a little bit about the story, something that's interesting to you so far.
Yeah, play Arlie, our Juniper Arlie Candlewick III, specifically. She is the official wandering cleric of the Cleric's Tower. She is meant to be doing good clerical deeds out there in the world. Anything from an interpretation of a bureaucratic line of text to, like being a healer. And I guess what is interesting is that, like, now that the gods are released, it turns out the reason she had healing powers is because her god, Zivelin, was never captured with all the rest of the gods. And so that meant that he at some point chose a cleric, and it happened to be her. But now maybe there will be more clerics and more magic users and more healers out there in the world, because the gods are free and who knows what they're up to. But we are in trouble. We're in some legal. I don't want to say. Arlie's not going to use the word trouble, but there are potential ramifications, and there could be accountability depending on who's asking. And,
love it. Arlie is the person who says this is not an admission of guilt. Incredible. Yeah. Thank you, Claire. Next on my list, I'm going to look to Sean, who we missed for our opener last week, but back and strong. Sean Boyd, why don't you introduce us to your character and a little cool thing about the story so far?
Aelric Tiamaticatus, the last of his kind, Blue Dragonborn, he thought he was the last Dragonborn. He met one other, but that other has since gone to the nether regions of some multiverse that we can't attach it to ourselves to now. At least for now. Yeah, there's so much to talk about. Something interesting about the game. It's such an interesting bifurcation between how the party sees themselves in the world as a party and how the rest of the world is dealing with them as a party. That bifurcation is getting larger and more fraught. I find that very interesting.
And for someone who doesn't like politics, very, very astute, big picture description.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Very macro-oriented.
There you go. This is how you can tell Sean's really embodying a character that's quite a big distance from himself. And finally, Michael Keane playing as Harold. Why don't you introduce us to your character and a little cool thing about the story?
Hey everyone, my character's name is Harold. Harold was an experiment in creating a character who either needs to change or he will die. He's coming through change, but isn't quite there yet. And at the end of our last campaign, sort of was able to form attachments to the rest of the party with an emotional depth that he didn't think that he would be capable of again. My favorite thing about the campaign so far is the emergent leadership that Aelric's character has shown. The last person in the group who would ever want to be its leader, and yet is the one that everyone else looks to make those calls.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
That's how you know this is fantasy, because the leaders don't want to be. Let's get started with episode 2, which I'm calling Trial by Combat. The coin seems to hover in the air at the apex of the narrow parabola given to it by the flicking of Lord Captain Salome Turnpike's left thumb. As it rotates, it catches the sunlight from the high windows in the great hall, a flickering of reflections off one side, then the other. One side a great wing, the other a dragon's head. Aelric. Last thing you remember, you came back from this other place and world, back to the place that you do know is real, and your blue scaly skin and now wings, and then out of some magical teleportation, Wyhan, the black-robed wizard, appeared, came up to you, spoke in Draconic, saying, I know you're not going to like this, but it's important. Then the room disappeared from around you, and you found yourself in a large, ancient room.
Oh,
A
God.
council room. The council room of the Grand Council of the Coalition itself. And I'm just going to move us over so we can see this room. You find yourself standing in the center, surrounded by these grand dioceses, many of which occupied. There is a grand silence in this grand space, the hard stone reflecting every little movement and shuffle. What do you do?
Am I armed?
That is a good question. Why don't we roll a little luck dice for this?
Okay.
I'm going to say 1 to 10, you are not armed. 11 to 20, you are. 15, you are.
Great. I draw.
Okay. Like Foley art from a Hollywood film, in the hard, reverberating, echoey chamber, you pulling, I assume, both long swords out of their sheaths, ring. Shling! And there is this dead silence as, if you've ever seen Spinal Tap, no. Listen to the sustain. These rings continue until silent.
Gotcha.
After that ringing fades into absolute stillness, from the northmost dais, a red-robed figure makes a polite clearing of their throat. Those won't be necessary. Welcome, Aelric, Tiamaticus.
I'll wait and see if they'll be necessary. Who are you?
I am Justarius of the Red Robes. Around me are my fellow council members of the Coalition of Mortal Races. Your place, she points to a dais on the southeast, is there, rightfully. You can roll an insight check if you'd like, if you care about politics.
I mean, I've learned to listen a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot. It's my
Cool.
worst thing.
14.
Hey,
Hell yeah. 14's not
not
bad.
bad.
With a 14, you can tell discomfort from some of the other members around you. They are not happy to see you, let's say. Not everyone here. Unlike the red-robed person to the north of you. They point to, they indicate with one of their arms outstretched to one of the dioceses to the southeast. You can see there, it has there on the floor a symbol of... Around the circle, you see other people. I will start there from the northmost 12 o'clock and go clockwise. Northmost 12 o'clock being a red-robed figure, human-sized. To there, at that 1 o'clock next over, is a very short figure, halfling, gnome, kender type height, wearing robes that you recognize bearing the symbol of the cleric's tower. Continuing around the circle is an empty dais, followed by another empty dais, followed by a large, foreboding orc, very physically dominating, probably equal in stature to you, actually. Okay. Following that figure is another empty dais, followed by another empty dais, making 4 in total. And then a human in military outfit that you recognize as old Salamnik.
Okay.
Following that, you see 2 elves standing side by side at the 10 and 11 o'clock. And with your 14 insight, I will say that the first of which, at the 10 o'clock there, you recognize as Jelzuel, the elder elf that you rescued, him and his band of refugees from the Northern Wastes in Season 1.
Right. Season 1. Episode 39.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. But I don't recognize the other elf.
You do not recognize the other elf.
Great. Which one is the most upset about me being there? The orc?
The orc... what's your experience with orcs? Orcs look generally upset about lots of things. They're kind of like...
The only orc I've encountered is the captain.
Okay, so the orc clearly looks upset. The human that you can see wearing the Salamnik armor is fidgeting in the manner that humans tend to fidget when disappointed or frustrated or bored.
Gotcha.
In a specifically primate manner. Elves and orcs you have harder time reading. With a 14, I will say that there is a familiarity with the short figure just to the east of the wizard.
This one here, right? The one that's Kender-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you mean by my place?
Just there, there's a little flick of magic from the wizard, and a floating light appears above the dais that is meant for you. Just there. That place has been held for your people since the coalition was formed. It has remained empty for over 100 years, but you, by every right, as a representative of your kind, have your place there.
I turn to the Kender, or the Kender-esque, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look. Is there any other, like, is there any symbology of Zivlin or anything?
Give me a perception check. I'll say this is with advantage because you rolled pretty high on your first insight. Now you're looking specifically. Nat 20.
Hell yeah.
With a nat 20, you're looking for specifics. You recognize immediately the cleric's tower. You were there for a year with Arlie.
Right.
You've seen the symbols. You recognize the cut and the style of clothing. There's something partial because already, okay, short like Arlie, okay. Start looking for symbols of Zivelin. You don't find a symbol of Zivelin, but you do find a piece of jewelry that is hanging just outside their shirt, which is you recognize because Arlie had a very similar piece of jewelry, which was a familial crest of the Candlewicks.
Okay. So I recognize that as the crest of the Candlewicks.
Yes, with a perception 20, you can very easily assume that this is a family member of Arlie's.
So I just face the Kender and then I go, so what's a guy like me gonna be doing in a place like this or something? Like, I don't understand what's happening here. Can you help me figure out what my next steps are or what this whole thing is about or whatever? Because I'm just trying to work through this situation without getting anybody mad, and I got to get back to the party because I don't do well with politics.
I love that. Without missing a beat, you break your draconic face breaks into a perfect Kender with possibly the accent of a noble woman, as you did most of your training with Arlie. The response is, "Oh, look at this guy over here talking in our own language. I love it. I absolutely freaking love this guy over here. Yeah, no, you come here, you can vote whichever way you want. I mean, we figured, it'd be rude to leave you out of the vote, your people and all. We got a lot of respect for yous. But, no, I mean, if you don't want to be here, we don't want to hold you for any longer than you need to be. But, we don't want to move forward knowing that you're around. Maybe you would come by a little later, say, oh, what's the matter for you? I should have been here with the vote. And then we would have been all like, oh, no. You get it.
Yeah, I get it. But, like, I'm really busy with other things right now, and I just can't take the time to come up here and hang out with you. I need to really go back to the party and just kind of work it out. Could you just assume that maybe later in life, once I get all this worked out or whatever, that I can make my way back up here? But right now, I can't. There ain't no room for it in my life.
From directly behind you, you hear in common, "What are you saying?" Sam, let's roll initiative.
Initiative.
That took a turn.
Initiative.
Let's roll initiative. Have I started combat? Did I not? Did you roll? Did I miss that? You rolled a 6. You rolled a 1
Yes.
on initiative?
Yes.
No, Sam, no.
Technically, you can't crit initiative.
It's true.
But is this for the die? Is this how we're doing luck? Is this who we're seeing who the die rolls for?
This is how we're seeing the die roll, yes. So with a 1, I'm going to say the coin continues to spin in the air, lands on the hard stone floor. Ting, 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 ting. And it is on wings, which means the accused gets to define the first rule. As a reminder to our guests, this is a traditional Turnpike trial by combat, wherein each participant is allowed to define one universal rule for the duel. One rule can be positive, one rule can be negative. And whoever wins the coin toss gets to define the first rule, the other person having to define the opposite.
Sam, when I hung out with Coy on Friday night, he was like, "Oh, don't worry, Sam will prep. He'll come up with stuff." So real excited to see what you're bringing to the table.
Oh, I have an idea.
I got mad faith in Sam. I know Sam will come to the table prepped.
Don't worry, there's going to be some real hard pimping on Coy. There's going to be some real pushing on the DM, but we'll see what happens here. I also lost the ability to. I'm responding now, so. Mm-hmm. My prep might have gone out the window, but we'll see how hard I can push.
Your sister Salome leans down, picks up the coin with her left hand, and holds it palm out to you and then to the room, and says, "Wings." To which Becklin stands at attention and says, "I call for full armor." Salome looks to Becklin, then to you, Thad, nods, says, "An acceptable term." Thaddeus?
I need to consult. I know that my who I'm going to call is not actually well aware of our law, but she knows the law. So can I confer with my lawyer before I make my ruling?
Confer with your lawyer. Unconventional, but I'll allow it.
I need a sidebar with the candor, Gnarly.
Awesome. Okay, you're gonna have a sidebar with the Kender while Harold quietly walks past all these floating, if you remember, there's a lot of floating scrolls that are writing down everything that's being said, coming from various news agencies and polities from around the continent. Harold is going to walk quietly by all of them up to the ear of Salome, while you have a sidebar with Arlie. Go ahead, Thad.
Arlie, have you ever seen any Nordmarian law while you were in the tower? Have you perused any of it?
Coy has our history check. I don't know what
You certainly have. I'll give you a history check with advantage because you're a knowledge cleric. But it's one of those things where it's like the roll will define how much you did and how much you remember. But spending your years in the cleric's tower, you definitely had the opportunity to learn basically anything. With a 17. The 17, I'll say, you have a pretty strong sense of it. Maybe not as much as like an expert in the field, but certainly more than most people in Salomnia.
Read. If I had to read it, I read it. I can't say that it necessarily is in there. Super great. But
all right. As long as you have a passing familiarity of the subject, then I think that we're going to be all right here. But first and foremost, we need to figure out who passed on knowledge of the law, and that the laws of Kalaman were going to switch under Turnpike law for her to be able to challenge me like this in the first place. That means somebody's feeding information, and since my sister was going to do this ruling, it makes me feel like there's a mole somewhere around. So that's something
to read a book. Is that what you're saying? There's no way.
Well, I mean, she would have to have known about the specifics of Turnpike law is all I'm saying. So that's first and foremost on the docket. The second thing is, after I announce my law, I need you to cut back in because I realized that I might have a novel legal defense to our other problem with Kalaman. Now, I died and I came back from the dead. However, I never came back from the dead because we came back before I died, which means I feel like the universe abhors my soul in some way, shape, or form. Whatever happened to me, it needed to come back without me dying to cause some sort of rift. Meaning, I think that I have a God soul inside of me, making me either the incarnation of Krampus on Earth or a demigod of Krampuses in some way, shape, or form. I can prove this as I can do things that I used to not be able to do. I couldn't remember all of my magical teachings before. So I'm thinking that the second that I came back from the dead as a god, it actually broke your oath to the council, and we all actually became under the purview of the gods in the first place, meaning all old oaths were broken and new oaths were made. We were never traitors because that moment happened outside of time. Now, that makes me a key witness and a key piece of evidence in our case, meaning if I were to die in this here duel, it would make my killer a tamperer of evidence in a case of Kalaman, putting them right back in the hot seat of the law, meaning that I don't need to make a rule that this happens after, right? It has to happen after legally.
So what you're saying is basically we can't be messed with because that's tampering with evidence. And so
Exactly. We cannot be messed with. So what I need you to do is after I state another piece of fine legal, I cannot believe that she is going to try this bullshit to a prince of the, I have to memorize. Do you know that we had to memorize the law? Do you know that turnpikes actually need to memorize every bit of law in order to be a ruler? Because if a ruler doesn't know the law, how can they be living embodiments of the law? So I'm going to fuck up her day in 2 seconds, but I need you to come up after that because that can't be one of my rules. You see what I'm saying?
Arlie does, Claire doesn't, but Arlie's right there with you.
Okay.
I make my rule, I need you to object to the whole thing, for I am actually evidence in another case. And
Okay.
to kill me would be tampering evidence. Ergo, this duel cannot commence until after we deal with our...
We've gone for high treason. Okay.
Yeah, so I just need you to chip in after. Now,
Okay.
I just need you to see quickly with your legal eagle brain. There is a very old custom that I was going to invoke if I had been picked first, which is I was going to declare with raised fist in their full power bare before the gods. And that is a very formal way of declaring in the nude. You can't be restrained. If you can use magic, if you can do whatever, you're in your full abilities and you're allowed to bring one weapon that you can raise over your head. Now, this was a little bit of a slight on the turnpike's part because we can all raise a big two-handed axe over our head in a single thing, but we also, wanted to kill them at their peak strength. So like if they could use magic, we would allow that. Now, if I invoke this, I believe legally, and this is what I need you to check, is that this will make those rules binding and allowing the other person to add a new rule if they accept it. It would be an incredibly bad taste, and it would look like she was guilty as sin even if she wins if she were to deny this rule. Can you just check in your legal mind if that would be the case?
Koi, what do you think?
Wild.
Am I doing-
Amazing.
Raised fist in their full power, bare before the gods. It is a legal phrase within our law that I am revoking, and it's like if you're throwing down a formal duel, I'm formalizing this even. It's like a way to throw a glaive on top of a glaive.
So before the law, the idea is that it's like no weapons, no armor, just the weapon you can hold above your hand.
Naked, you can use whatever resources you have available, and it's what you can bring a single weapon that you can raise above your head in a fist.
Got you. Okay, jumping over to Harold, who's leaned as you walk up to Salome, holding this coin that she's now flipping between her fingers. She sees you coming and leans down to be able to speak quietly with you, Harold.
So, chat, just a quick recap from last week. There are magic scrolls throughout this event, which are essentially like journalists, and they're recording everything that is said. Harold was never introduced when he entered the room. So, for matters of historical record, he is not there right now. His first instinct was to take this as a slight from Thad's sister, but he thought it through, and he's wondering why she set it up this way. So Harold, in Soto voice, so that the quills won't hear him. I can make a stealth roll if you need me to, but I think we said
No,
last
we've
time
already
it was okay.
established it's possible. Yeah.
Okay. Says, why am I off the record?
There's quite a bit of historical precedent that your kind can be quite influential. I'm trying to keep you as, let's say, a card up my sleeve.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Harold now approaches Becklin.
Amazing, sure. Yeah. Walk past Thad, just like right up towards Becklin. I'm gonna roll a wisdom check.
You hear as you walk by the
Yeah.
two of them.
All right. Harold, you walk up to Becklin, and she looks at you in silence and leans down to hear you as you walk up.
Harold bows.
She gives you a
Says-
little nod.
Glenn, I regret that we didn't have time to speak about what happened at the foundry. I'm sure we could have come to some accord. Now it appears that either you will kill Thad or he will kill you. In either case, I think we're past the point of conversation. But if you're proud of what you did, truly proud, you could always admit your guilt. Rolling a persuasion.
Awesome. Roll me a persuasion, and we're back to Aelric. Aelric, the voice rings out in the ground and the Grand Council. Trying to activate this space. Let me go to the place. I want to go to there. I want to go to there. Okay. I can't get us back. Okay, Aelric, the voice rings out behind you. What are they talking about?
Is that all? Is that all he says?
That's what he says to interrupt you speaking Kender to the cleric, yeah.
Yeah. So with the cleric, I don't stop. I don't stop. I listen to that booming voice come from behind me, and I lean in. So, how do you know Arlie?
How do I know Warley? Oh,
Yeah, how do you know
you're talking
Arlie?
about my sister over here.
Oh, all right,
Hey,
all right. I
yo.
didn't realize.
How do you know Warley?
Well, she showed me things. I've known her Arlie for years now. I came
Showed
to
you
the tower
things?
with her.
What
That's
do you mean
how I
showed
know
you things?
Kender.
You know,
Well,
you came
she
here, I
showed
thought I
me.
might like you, but now you're saying some things. Maybe I'm not going to like you so much, big guy.
Like I'm talking your language over here.
Oh, I can
right?
see that.
Wow. That's Arlie. These are the things. These are the things she shows me.
Madai. All right.
Who's this man behind me?
She calls. She reaches out, like sends her voice in common above you to the human who called out. Our new friend just wanted to get their bearings. Lord Commander, he seemed a little discombobulated, as many of us are when traveling through teleportation. I'm sure it's a moment of discombobulation, as I said, that is easily passed and quickly done. As you know, he's not used to our conventions.
And so I go to the last thing I say to the Kender, or the next thing I say to the Kender is, so am I gonna have a problem with this guy over here? Am I gonna have a problem with this guy behind me?
Wait, aren't you in a different place? Or are you with us now?
No, we just couldn't get the other map up.
Sorry, Foundry seems to have
Oh!
crashed on us. So we've all had a little
We've
bit
all
of a
been in the
crash.
same room?
No, no.
Elric is
There's
Elric was teleported to a different place.
We
last
just can't
session.
we can't get my map back because Foundry crashed.
Yeah, Foundry just crashed.
Okay, so okay, sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were talking to Arlie.
No,
I was still
to
talking
your
to the
sibling.
Kender that's in
Oh,
there.
I heard Arlie, sorry.
Yeah, to your brother.
Your
Oh.
sister, Forsythia Turnpike.
Oh. Is it? I think she said brother, but maybe I.
I definitely heard brother for Arlie's brother. And like he
Oh no, she's my sister.
Oh, that's. So I assumed brother. Okay, so that's a sister. Then
Yeah.
it's a woman. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
we're just having. It looks like Foundry just died on us, so we're just
Yeah.
having a little issue with that. Sorry about that,
That's
team.
brutal. Man.
Never had that before. I will lodge my complaint formally. So you asked, will this person be a problem? The Kender looks to you, looks to the Lord. I'm going to roll a little something here.
I'm gonna pull my manual
Kender,
dice out.
Forsythia. They rolled a nat 20. They continue in Kender and say, look, this guy's a problem for all of us, okay? We all just got to put up with him, you know what I mean? I mean, powerful guys that can say what they want. You know, you just got to smile and nod, all right? Look, but at the end of the day, we all got a vote. He's got one vote. You got one vote. So, you know, forget about it. It's okay.
Okay. I've come to understand humankind. So I turn back. I wheel to the guy, I wheel back to the person in red. What was their name again? I know it started with a G. I'm sorry.
Justarius.
Justarius, I am not in a place where I can participate in your whatever this is.
I see. So you are formally requesting for a recess before you can cast a vote. Of course, makes total sense. I
Cast a
vote that
vote
we
on
have a
what?
recess before we cast a formal vote.
A vote on what? What am I voting on?
Well, the Grand Council of the Coalition, we are voting on whether to assume a war footing.
I see. Yes, then I need to request a recess so my new Kender friend can fill me in on all the details. I trust their ability to convey politics deftly and efficiently.
Justarius looks to Forsythia of the Cleric's Tower and says, of course, we all look to the Cleric's Tower in matters of law and legal understanding. It is fully understood, and with much sympathy, Lord Tiamaticus. Any objections to a small recess while our Dragonborn representative reestablishes himself with the current state of affairs before another vote? Looks around. No one seems to move too much. Very good. Let it commence. There's a loud gavel plong, but you don't see anyone move a hand, and there is a pause. Returning back to the trial, we are going to go paper, baby. I'm going to pull up Becklin if I can from a different place, but we still have a couple things to do before then. Salome turns to you, Thaddeus, and says, now that you have been able to speak with your lawyer, do you have your law?
I didn't get a response. They rolled the dice, but we didn't get an answer.
What was the roll?
Will my it does my legal theory about calling with a fist raised in their full power bear before the gods, will that actually hold weight? Or the weight that I'm hoping that it will?
I'm back in Foundry.
Yeah, I think it just restarted. Amazing. Okay, I've got it back as well. I need to just sign in with my other that the chat can see. Did you rolled a history? Did you? I didn't see the roll.
Yeah, 17.
17. Amazing. With a 17, Bear Before the Gods is an interesting one. With a 17, you can remember stories of it being used both as a positive and as a negative law within a trial by combat.
Then if that's the response that I give, then I turn around and I quickly thank you so much, and then I turn around and immediately well, then I challenge my opponent with a raised fist in their full power bear before the gods. If she wants to face me in a tin can, then we'll see how the gods, who are back now, I remind you, respond to that.
Salome looks at you for a moment, Thaddeus. A small nod on her face. A noble law that you invoke. Unfortunately, our accused has already called for full armor. You've placed me in a position of adjudicator.
Then I will respond. I will do the duel with an arm tied around my back.
Quick point of order. When it's my turn, you know.
Of course. Quick point of order. Harold, you were rolling a persuasion on Becklin about admitting guilt, yes? Give me that roll. 17. And I am going to... Amazing. So you asked Becklin, you said to admit guilt, is what you said. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, I said something to the effect of, if you're proud of what you've done, you could always admit your guilt. And then Harold pauses and says, and keep your oaths.
She looks at you, and the two of you maintain this, you hold this stare as you, within silence, kind of double down on your statement, making her consider. She holds it. You have her in your grasp. She is considering this request. Arlie, you say, you step in as a solicitor.
Mm-hmm. Quick point of order that if, and like Arlie's gonna look to Thad and be like, "Is this the moment?" that if Thaddeus is going to engage in this duel, we have a bit of a conflict because Thaddeus is actually required as evidence in another case. The case of us being tried for high treason, and if he is to put his physical being at risk of what I would call evidence tampering, or also known as death or dismemberment or some kind of however his sister might see fit to win the duel. It will make it very difficult for us to bring our otherworldly dead and alive, returned timeline hopping survivor of. It's a bit difficult to, you know what, it's a little bit confidential. I can't get into it in this case, but
No.
he holds a very key role as living evidence in the case of you know, I don't know what in the case of the Council of All Beings versus the party, I don't know what we're called, versus, are we like the soldiers of Kalaman that went too far? I don't know what our title is.
Your title? At the moment, your official title, according to the Salamnic government, is the Wandering Cleric Juniper Arley Candlewick III and her retinue.
Okay, yeah, so basically, in the case of the Council of All Beings versus Juniper Arley Candlewick, the Wandering Cleric, and her retinue, Thaddeus Turnpike is key living evidence.
Amazing. Give me a persuasion roll on that. You're persuading Salome.
Sure. Persuasion roll. Roll the dice. Tell me the answer. 14.
14. Salome looks at you. Split screen. Salome looking at Arlie. Arlie looking at Salome.
Oh,
Harold looking at
thank
Becklin.
you.
Becklin looking at Harold. Sorry?
I apologize. D&D Beyond was slow. It's an 18. I got 14, and then we add my +5.
Oh, damn. 18. All right. Amazing. We have a stare off. Two pairs staring each other off. And we are back to the Grand Council chamber. Clang, clang. We are on recess. There is a drop in formal sense. You can kind of tell, Aelric, everyone releases. You've seen this within militaries as people do the like at ease once the commanding officer has left or allowed people to release. There's a sense of release in the space. You see the human turn quickly and stomp away on the wood or on the hard stone. The orc as well moves away with less force. Both elves kind of turn towards each other and talk over the space between their two dioceses. The Kender comes around and walks down into the center of the space in front of you. As they get close, speaking in Kender, you're not going to stick me with those guys, are you? I mean, they look pretty dangerous. You look like you know what you're doing with them.
Well, I definitely know what I'm doing with these.
No, you don't need to convince me. Oh, watch out. Dangerous
please,
guy over here.
Please, forgive me. I'll put him away. So, just fill me in here. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
You notice beside you as well appears the red-robed wizard Justarius, who joins you in Kender, who had not spoken before in Kender. What we're doing here is we're trying to avoid all-out total war, all right? Wyhan sent you here to make sure we slowed some things down. We were on the verge of a vote to go to a total war footing, and because of you, we now don't have enough votes.
So what is the war? What war? What are we? What footing? What are we trying to fight?
Whoa, where you been this whole time? What war? The whole war against the gods, the reason this whole coalition came together. That war, the gods that you released, you and your friends just a little while ago, that war? What war? Oh my God, what are you talking about over here? This guy, what war? The Kender's like, I know, this guy's crazy, but if you've seen the swords, I'm not gonna talk to him like that. I mean, you got magic. I'm just standing here, short Kender, I'm barely below his waist. What do you think, I'm gonna talk back to him? All right, you can calm yourself down.
Since we are all three here and we're all kind of talking, can we just drop the Kenda? I'm not great. I know enough to get
happily,
through.
Yes. We can speak in Draconic if you prefer, or Common.
No, let's just go to Common. Let's just go to Common.
Understood.
Thank you. I don't get the intricacies of what we're trying to discuss here. I have not been a part of this world. I've been here, but I have not been here. I don't know what is happening. Politics are not my strength. And if that human comes at me again with that language, there will not be a vote.
I can see why Wyhan chose you. Yes, well, the long and the short of it, Lord Tiamaticus, is that the Grand Council has been reconvened because of a world-altering event which you were at the center of. The position on the Grand Council held for the Dragonborn has been empty for as long as anyone can remember, centuries actually, because we haven't seen any Dragonborn on the continent for quite a long time. But you, being Dragonborn yourself, have every right to stand in and have a voting say, considering there aren't any other options at the moment. Before you arrived just moments ago, we had 7 members. As you look around, Elric, you do notice there are more than 7 dioceses. Just some of them are empty.
Okay.
We had 7. 4 votes were for war, resuming a war footing, returning to a state of war against the gods. 3 votes were not yet cast. You becoming our 8th voting member mean that those 4 votes are unable to get us into that war footing.
So you're saying that 3 people are voting for no war?
Well, myself, Volwyn of the Qualinestri Elves, over there you see him talking with Jelzuel. This is the other elf who's just been named.
Gotcha.
And Forsythia Candlewick here, have all resisted voting for absolute war.
Can I ask, have the gods been active in such a way that war is at hand or necessary? I don't understand.
I take it from what I've heard through Wyhan's journals that you traveled through what is now Northern Wastelands. Is that right?
Yes.
You may not know this, but those lands used to be the home of many of the gnomes. Indeed, they considered it their home territory for a long time. It was a very lush place, wonderful, glorious, beautiful. What you saw is what remains after the cataclysm, when the gods were trapped within the Legion construct, which I believe you also did spend some time with.
Yes.
350 years ago, the gods were sealed away from reality itself. You've released them for the first time. The last time many of them were free, the joint mortal races of the Coalition were at open war with them. It is natural for many of us to believe that their recent return, they might, if not assume we are in the middle of the exact same war, want vengeance on being removed from our world for so long.
But to this point in time, from the time that the gods have been released, there is no active indication that the gods have done either of those things, right?
Indeed there is. There's quite a lot of evidence. I'd be happy to show you, if you like.
Yes.
Wonderful. And you walk off with the wizard to his chambers, where you are met with a lot of paper and politics.
Fantastic. My favorite.
Your favorite. Returning to our palatial ballroom. Arlie locked with Salome. Harold, eyes locked with Becklin. Salome takes an in-breath, Arlie, as she is about to speak. But before she can, Becklin clunks to one knee and says, "I yield."
I'm gonna kill you. I was gonna kill you. And Thad just muttering to himself.
Becklin does look to you and says, "I will give you the opportunity to try another time, wizard." Salome says, "Well, incredible. Becklin, so unfortunate. I thought you really did have a chance this time. In that case, I suppose you are guilty." Wyhan steps forward as representative of the tower. She is the one who is to express the punishment for this crime. And she opens her mouth and then turns to Salome and says, "Of course, I give the right of punishment to the proper ruler of this land, Salome." Salome nods politely to Wyhan and says, "Why, thank you, Wyhan, far too kind. I hereby exile Becklin Uthviharan forever from our lands. Thank you, Becklin, for your time. We will see you out." Becklin stands to her feet. 2 guards come to her side and escort her out of the room to the south.
If you wait at the border, as soon as I'm done with the other trial, I'll meet you on the other side.
As the doors open, she calls over her shoulder, "Anytime, wizard!" Ka-chunk! And the doors close. After the doors close, Wyhan and Salome exchange a look, and Wyhan flicks her wrist. A few motes of fire exit from her fingers and ignite all of the parchments that are magically floating in the space. All of them disappear as Wyhan destroys them, and you are left alone in this grand palatial room with no one listening. Yes, Harold.
Harold wanted to follow Becklin out.
Go for it. Yeah, you can follow Becklin out, for sure. We're left with Becklin, Wyhan, Harold, and Arlie in the room, standing amongst each other. After Salome takes one last check to make sure that everything, like all of these magical scrolls have been destroyed. And after she does, turns to you, Thad, and in a very different tone than she presented in the public forum from previous, says, "My God, Thaddy, really?
Did you kill the person who took your arm? Did you kill them? Did you kill them?"
It wasn't a person. And yes, they are very dead."
Good. No healers in time to fix you. Must have been bad out there.
It was quite bad. But really, you took this city, Kalaman, this piece of garbage on the corner of... Do you realize what this would have been if it wasn't for the fact that there's some magical barrier right now and the gods are now free? If it wasn't for what happened after you left, this would be an absolutely worthless town.
But it is a town. It's the first territorial expansion we've had in... since the Cataclysm?
You know, I'm really happy you're a wizard because I cannot stand how often you bungle your way into success.
Bungle? I had to go to the tower. I've been out in the field. I died. I died.
You've had the gods on your side, Thaddeus. The gods. You were always going to be fine. Me and Father have had to keep the entire family, all the clans together at sea.
I'm at 4.
You met 4? She puts her head in her hands. Elric, you are going through paper. Give me an investigation roll. With advantage because they're giving you the answers.
Thank God. All right. Oh my God. 13 with advantage. Grim.
With a 13,
Oh no, what happened to my thing?
certain reading is really engaging and like captivates you and ignites your imagination with images and verse. The stuff you're reading is not that. This is
Fantastic.
this is messengers, front line, small things that were written in like pidgin and thieves' cant that have been translated through 4 different languages, sent across thousands of miles in wet saddlebags, dried out in the sun, opened carefully with tweezers, and then uncoded through some ancient cryptograph that is like part logical, part magical to get these reports from across the continent. Enough has also been redacted magically that there are words that you just like can't read. It's like reading in dream, and it takes you a good few minutes to realize that it's not just like your own vision trying to struggle with a language you haven't read, but actually a magical spell preventing you from reading key points of information.
Okay.
On top of all of that, at a certain
Yeah.
point, this type of shit just like grays out the brain. It's just like more fact, information, point, fact. What you can grasp is that since the release of the gods, news is coming in from all over the continent of crazy shit happening. Not all of it necessarily is anti-Salomnia, but it is godly in nature. And for an organization that wants to find an enemy, this is pretty clear evidence that an enemy exists.
Okay. Is there any indication of like great cataclysms or like direct assaults on civilizations or cities or anything like that that I can make out? Or like wide swaths of racial or not?
Yeah,
but,
there's I mean
like, species.
the biggest, so you're looking for like scale, is that right?
Yeah, I'm looking for scale, and I'm looking for like war type violence rather than just like the gods are throwing nature into chaos stuff.
In terms of scale, the biggest thing you can find is one report from what seems to be 3 weeks ago, where a large plane, someone was coming by to to travel through an area that was normally very marshy, and they thought
Yeah.
they were lost, and then they realized after the sun went down and they did some navigation using the stars that they actually weren't lost. They were in the center of what should be a swamp, but it was now a old growth forest.
Okay. So just at this point, quirky stuff, but not like
I mean, there
Like
are
plagues
people,
of
there are
dead
like
marching
people who
on
have
cities.
died. There's evidence of like
Sure.
individuals who have died here and there. It's not like all without violence, but
Okay.
this is one of those things where it's like a lot of stuff is happening. This is an expression of power. Who's the powerful people? The gods. Who do we like to be at war with? The gods. This is an expression of them potentially, you know, from the perspective of a military eye, it's like all problems look like a nail to a hammer. If you're
Yeah.
looking for war, these are just expressions of your enemies out there.
Okay. Great. Okay. And so after reading as much as I have, I turn to my partners in crime here, and I say, "Is this it?"
This is the most valuable stuff that I keep here on hand. Yes. It's constant. The gods are back.
This feels like chaos more than it feels like war.
Chaos is exactly why we tried to get rid of them.
I'm skeptical of this war footing, so
Good. were you to vote for it, then it would be passed easily. It seems like Wyhan understood you well enough that your hesitancy would help us. The fact that you do not want to vote immediately gives us time to at least try to come up with some alternatives, or if we can't stop it, then a safe way to move forward. You see, Forsythia Candlewick, who's been sitting there knitting, actually, in a corner while you've been reading all this, says,
Of course.
well, yes, I mean, from our perspective as the Cleric's Tower, we are under kind of an obligation to at least try to talk to them first.
Well, that was what I was going to ask. Has anybody had... I've not learned everything I need to know about this world, this mammalian world, but I do understand now the potential of conversation. Has anyone reached out to the gods as an emissary or a voice for this council or for these races or any individual race? Has anyone communed or had any sort of divination?
Unfortunately, there haven't been any emissaries of the gods for us to commune with, except for, well, my sister. You know her.
Well, yes.
Yeah, don't keep saying that.
I'm not sure what you... Yes, okay. Yes, I know her well. She speaks to Zivelin all the time. Or she tries.
The wizard turns around and says, well, if you're proposing that we attempt to open negotiations with the gods through their only living emissary, which is Arlie Candlewick, then I second that idea. I do also. Well, in that case, I think that gives us a plurality to at least try. Wonderful idea, Aelric. Would you like to begin that immediately?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. We'll see you back here soon. I hope not too soon. And, good luck. Send my regards to my sister, and don't get to know her too well. I swear to God, I will fucking know. The wizard casts a little, moves their hands, speaks in some magic, and a snap,
Wait.
Aelric, you find yourself back with your company, surrounded by Thaddeus, Arlie, and a human woman wearing a white fur cloak over top of a black dragon scale armor, who you do not recognize. She is missing her right arm, you can tell immediately, under her cloak. Harold, you exit the room following Becklin. As the doors are about to close, she calls over her shoulder, "Anytime, wizard, Kachlam." She's being escorted by two guards wearing Turnpike armor. They are, the Turnpikes are a seafaring people, so they wear armor that is designed to be helpful at sea, so it's not full plate. It is more a lighter kind of leather-based armor with only like specific areas that are reinforced. You could probably swim in it.
After allowing a beat for silence, Harold looks up at her and says, "You honor your oath."
Of course.
In the wasteland, we discovered that without gods, there is no hereafter.
Give me an
I
insight
did what
check.
I did. Pardon?
Give me an
Yeah.
insight check when you tell that to her.
Okay.
And I will tell you what you're rolling against.
I got a 20.
20. Nat 1. Jesus. She knows. Not only does she know, she knows more.
You knew that, didn't you?
care to escort me to my exile?
I was here because you comported yourself with honor. But I fear that our paths now will only lead to conflict. There is no room for understanding between us.
It would be a shame if that were the case.
What else did you know?
I knew the world before the gods were trapped. I know the chaos they bring.
So better a life of order and no hereafter than a life of chaos and the opportunity for something more?
You speak of the hereafter as if you know it. You think an absence is worse. You do not know what you talk of. She turns and tries to walk away.
I let her.
Okay.
I go back to the ballroom. You can let me know when I enter.
Amazing. And you see Becklin Uthviharin leave Turnpike space for the last time legally on her grounds to exile back to Salomnia. Aelric, you pop into the space. Wyhan barely gives you a look. Salome is just saying, "What did the little one say to her?" as Aelric pops into the space. "Ah, is this..." She looks to Wyhan. "I see. Okay, you're back. Wow, that was fast. All right. How did it go there, Master Tiamat? What do I call you?"
Just Aelric is fine. All this Lord and Duke and Mr. Aelric, please.
Aelric, I think we'll get along quite well. Can I get you a drink?
No, but thank you.
I need one. Drink! She calls. A servant skitters out from near the door. Right. Well, I want to know what he said, she says, thinking of Harold. She goes back to her seat at the north side of that in her throne and sits down, turns to all of you. Well, Arlie, Candlewick, I'm curious what game you were trying to play. I had wanted to talk to you personally, but now I can't quite be sure what side you're really on.
What?
Understand what's happening. So I don't know who's saying that.
That's Salome. That's Thad's sister, who's now Lord of Kalaman.
Okay. So we're still in the courtroom. We haven't left.
You're
Yeah,
all
and
in
I
the
just-
same place. Aelric has now
back
joined
to
you. You're all. I will actually move you to the room you are in. You're in this room. This is the room you're in.
Okay. Oh,
And I just got bamfed in there.
And Aelric is here with you. Let me get him. Pop. There you go. Everyone's here.
Oh, Salome, let me make it perfectly clear. I am Juniper Arlie Candlewick III, and this is my retinue, and I will be representing Juniper Arlie Candlewick III and her retinue. If that makes it clear. About what side I'm on.
Uh-huh. My question is where that fits in between the Turnpikes and Salomnia.
Oh, that sounds like a question perhaps for your brother or someone else.
I see. Thaddeus?
Yes, sister dear.
Your cleric claims to serve the god of knowledge. She plays dumb very well.
As most knowledgeable people seem to.
Well, I'm sure this will all come out eventually. Arlie, I do want to talk to you one-on-one when we have a chance. That is, of course, if you ever do speak to anyone without your retinue.
I'm sorry, I'm actually busy playing that day, and I can't.
I see. She turns and just, like, smiles just viciously at Thad. Well, Harold, this is you. You re-enter the south doors at this point. Ka-chung. You see Salome like grinning daggers into Thaddeus as a small servant rushes past you carrying a tray with about 5 glasses and some brown-colored liquid, rushing up the steps towards Salome. She takes the decanter, pours herself a drink, offers it to anyone.
Oh, I take one.
Gives you one. Is Candlewick?
Are you having a tech glitch over here? Salome is offering
A drink.
us a drink. I'm sorry, I don't understand. You might have to explain yourself. I don't know what you want from me.
The nice woman is offering you a drink.
Oh, I'm not thirsty. Thank you.
She's not thirsty, dear sister. She doesn't understand our customs.
Salome holds out the drink to you that she's poured. She smiles, looks to Thad, and throws the drink on the ground, smashing the glass. And then gets another drink for herself, pours it, and drinks it. Harold, you are in the room. As you're walking up the steps, she's about to take a sip, and before her lips touch the glass, she says, "Oh, of course. Master Gray, a drink for you, sir."
I bow, I take it.
As she hands it to you, she says, "I really must know what it was you said."
Oh, I just reminded her who she was. So have you thanked your brother yet for delivering you all of the realm's only magically reinforced autonomous city-state?
Huzzah! And I take this in my drink, guys.
Smash. All the glasses are broken except for the one Harold's holding.
It runs in the family.
There's a second servant who has been waiting at the door with a new tray of glasses, runs up the long way from the south to refill glasses. She says, "You know, Master Gray, I think you might be the most astute here." "Yes, Thaddeus, thank you."
You're welcome.
Now, what I can say is while you're here, you are protected. If anyone doesn't fully understand what's happened, she looks to the large dragonborn hulking in the center of the room. This is now Turnpike territory, and we do not bow to Solamnia. While you are here on this ground, I can offer you protection, immunity, if you will, from whatever it is that Solamnia hopes to do to you, with you, whatever that is. There's only so much I can do against my brother. I mean, after all, we share blood. What it is you want to do, I can't say. You serve the gods. We don't really know what to do with those people anymore. And from my experience, they're very difficult to understand. She looks at Arlie again and takes another sip from her drink.
Arlie
bites
bites
her
her
tongue.
tongue.
Yeah. Amazing.
Is Wyhan still in the room with us?
She is. Wyhan is still in the room.
Wyhan, will the tower press us, me in particular, to face our judgment in Salomia?
I'm afraid the tower has no authority over this space.
But as a member of the tower, they are not requesting that I go and face any kind of...
I believe your attendance was requested as a part of Candlewick's retinue.
And that is a different legal sphere entirely than I assume, so that means we don't actually have to face that treason charge unless if we choose to subject ourselves to it.
I don't intend to spend the rest of my days behind these walls, Thaddeus.
No. The real question is Salomia going to do something potentially world-shattering to bind the gods back again?
I might have some insight on that.
Well, sister, if this feels like a safe space in which to discuss.
Wyhan, I have no idea why you decided to send me other than the fact that there was an empty space in a big room. I'm the least deft person in this room to handle a conversation between 8 people, but I just returned from this council of the civilized races or some nonsense. In any event, they're voting. There's a representative from the orcs, 2 different races of elves, the humans. Arlie, your sister was there. And seemingly some... I didn't get the race of the person in the red, Koi. I'm sorry.
Human.
Okay. And there was a representative specifically from the Knights of Salomnia. A rather short-tempered fellow. Right now the vote is split 4-4. So I went there. They were in the process of voting. I said I didn't trust the reports of all of the chaos actually being a requirement to go to war. And I recommended that we send the emissary to the gods. And I looked at Arlie. That is you. To try to commune with the gods before anything else happens. I think for now, the Salomnic Knights, unless they go independent of this council, are in a hold until at least we get an opportunity to speak to some emissary from the gods with our emissary to the gods.
Are you talking to Arlie?
I'm talking to the whole party. I looked at you every time I talked about us having an emissary, and of course, like bringing up your sister. Those are the broad strokes. The details, I don't know that are that necessary to go into, other than the fact that your sister seems not to like me.
Weird for Forsythia to get into politics. I did not anticipate that. Most Candlewicks, they just go where the cognac is. But
To be fully upfront, she was knitting most of the time.
so good to know that she hasn't changed terribly.
Yes.
But I guess as technically, since we are, nobles, we can.
You can give me a roll for Scythia if you'd like. This will be with advantage. I would say this would be like a history or an insight, whatever you prefer. To remember
Knowing
your sibling.
For like knowing why why one of my family members decided to stop just like partying and get a job.
Well, I can. So like, what I can say is that one part of this agreement of like holding land and like having someone be at the cleric's tower all the time, that's like one and like the worst part of the deal that the Candlewicks holding that land. There's a second element to being a landholder in Salamnia, which is that you get a seat in the House of Lords. In the Parliament.
Okay.
So the Candlewicks actually have a seat in the House of Lords. Forsythia is that person who has the seat, which is a much more interesting and like powerful position than the backbench cleric's tower position.
Oh yeah, the cleric's tower is like it's like the worst.
Yeah, it's like you win one, you lose one, right? Like you get a seat in the House of Lords, and you have to give one of your kids to the cleric's tower. It's like you gotta get both. So Forsythia's the lucky one, and you were the now the fact that Forsythia is representing the tower at the coalition, that's a bit different. That's weird.
Okay, yeah, I'll do a check on that. I'll be like, I'm doing history
or insight, whichever you think is like more appropriate.
I think the one that I have a +9 in is better. So 20, unnatural 20.
An unnatural 20. Forsythia is a political creature. Forsythia can remember relationships and names with almost perfect acuity, and not just random names. Like she can remember the name of the servant's source for a special type of boar. Be like, oh, that servant went to that dealer to get that. Like the type of stuff that can make a huge difference if you have it, because you can pull on a thread and be like, I'm going to get this person to take away that to do this thing. It takes a massive Rolodex that you can keep in your mind. Forsythia is exactly the type of person who can do this. Their capacity to remember these facts is one of the things that made them so valuable, and why they love the position of power. With the 20, sometimes when you have someone who's really good in your friend group, you're like, oh, you're like the best person who plays the piano that I know. And then you see them next to like a professional and you're like, oh, okay, that's a professional. With Forsythia, you're like, you're the best person that I know. And then you saw them next to like some representatives from the House of Lords when they came to the house, and they're like, oh, all these people are idiots compared to Forsythia. She is like a savant in politics. It makes total sense that she would make sure that she comes in and is in like any important place that anything is happening.
I think it's really funny that our family, like, I just assumed that the Candlewicks, like, one kid really high in intelligence, the other one really low, but really high wisdom.
Yeah, for sure.
Just really different. Okay, cool. Cool, thanks.
Like, in any room where decisions are being made, important decisions, Forsythia's there and clacking her needles. With that, we're at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to say we take a little break because it's about break time as we have a moment of like consideration. We're at 9:04. So I'm going to say let's come back at 9:20 to play, which means I'm going to ask the players to come back a little before 9:20. Yeah. Awesome possum. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy some awesome theme music while we go on break for a moment.
Born to nobility, Ollie dodged through life with frivolity. Parties and balls, a life so grand. Little did she know what fate had planned. Ollie, Ollie, the wandering Candlewick, chosen by Sibyl, her destiny's down. This from towers of paper to the open road, a reluctant cleric with powers bestowed. From luxury, thrust into robes, surrounded by tomes and dusty old globes. But Ollie's mind, sharp as a tack, mastered the legalese others did lack. Contracts and bylaws, she knew them all. Her litigious prowess made bureaucrats fall. In mazes of paper would she find her way to bend timelines at once, futures that fly, past, present, future, all intertwined, sometimes leaving the present behind. But Ali sees more than meets the eye. All timelines at once, futures that fly, past, present, future, all intertwined, sometimes leaving the present behind. Library cat, shrouded in mystery, follows Audie through every history. With glowing eyes and silent paws, it guards her path without pause. Ollie, the wandering candlewick, chosen by Sibyl, her destiny's now mystic. From towers of paper to the open road, a reluctant cleric with powers bestowed. Cut from luxury thrust into robes, surrounded by tomes and dusty old globes. But Ollie's mind, sharp as a tack, mastered the legalese others did lack.
Oh, hoist up the sails, let the winds take a grip. For Thaddeus Turnpike commands his ship. For good on the waves, a sailor so bold, with magical powers and a heart of gold. Behold, Thaddeus sailed the endless sea, with little Bubo as wise as can be. Through tempest and tide, they roam far and wide, the Turnpike legacy, their unfading pride. From the mighty Turnpike line he hails, with the lineage of captains braving the gales. A scion of seafarers fierce and grand, with the smell on his lips and the sword in his hand. Behold, Thaddeus, master of the smell, with little Bubo through heaven and hell. They dance with the stars, they flirt with the dew, their laughter echoes in the ocean's blue. And now for his mate, little Bubo's his name. Together they soar in fortune and fame. With little Bubo, his talents wrapped in light, they summon the winds and the stars to their fight. A curse of great power, a gift or a bane, Thaddeus wields it with little to fame. A rogue with a charm, a sailor with flair, he faces each curse with nary a care. Behold, Thaddeus, the sea's arcane knight, with little Bubo in the pale moonlight. Through whispers of magic and the salt-laden air, the Turnpike adventure none can compare. So sing of the Turnpike, the legend, the tale, of Thaddeus and Bubo setting sail. For where the map ends, their journeys just start. The seas in their blood, magic in their heart. The Turnpike, the legend, the tale, of Thaddeus and Bubo setting sail. For where the map ends, their journeys just start. The seas in their blood, magic in their heart.
In Salome's fields a halfling stood tall, sea grey eyes, a fighter's call. With Fiona's love and Angus' smile, his world was bright for a little while. Oh, herald grey with list in hand, a promise made, a journey planned. Each task he'll mark, each dream fulfill. For those he's lost, his heart beats still. From Zakar streets to golden fields, their family loved the greatest shield. They dreamed of wonders near and far, and on a list beneath the stars. Oh, journey planned. Each task he'll mark, each dream fulfill. For those he's lost, his heart beats still. Young Angus fell on distant shore, while Fiona's kiss would come no more. A drunken noble, a vengeful blade, left Harold's world in darkness laid. But from his grief a purpose born, to honor vows that he had sworn. The list unfolds a final wish, a blade resisted a gutted fish. Now Harold roams through joy and strife, to live for three in one short life. From mountains high to oceans deep, this solemn pledge he vowed to keep. With bolder hat and iron will, he faces each task with hard-won skill. For every deed he sees it through, he feels their love forever true. And when the final task is done, when every battle's lost and won, he'll close his eyes, his duty clear, knowing his loved ones drawing near. In afterlife they'll meet again, their love eternal, free from pain. The list complete, their dreams fulfilled, a promise kept, a future will. Oh, Harold Gray, your journey's long, but in your heart they're never gone. With every dream that you fulfill, Fiona and Angus are with you still.
Hello, hello. We are back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I realize I'm totally blown out here, but you know what? I get extra light because I'm the storyteller. Let's just use that as an excuse. We return. There was a little moment of pause, and so I'm going to use the cinematic method of saying, like, let's talk about it, and then we snap cut to another location where it's different, but the conversation continues as if no time had passed, because it's a cool convention. Why not? We're in a less formal room now. This is a comfortable back room. In the palace. Actually, because we have a map, I might as well take us there. We return, as we return to this moment of stillness, Salome turns to Wyhan and says, really, I don't think this is the best place to continue talking. Where was it that you can just take us there, can't you? And Wyhan says, you know, my magic isn't just meant for trifles. It is just a short walk from here. Yes, but you have the teleportation circle, right? You can just take us there easily. It is a very complex spell. Yes, but you can do it, right? And you are working in my service. Yes? So do it, please. Wyhan swallows, casts a spell, and you are all back in your expanded home base. For those of us who weren't there last week, specifically Sean, Wyhan entered your old home base, that little room that you had, and cast a magical spell that expanded the space of this room into a grand apartments. On the outside, it is the same space. From the outside, were you to walk around this room, it would be the same size as the room you had before. Once you enter, it's larger on the inside. There are many, many rooms, all specializing in anything that you would need, all of your specific skills, including an armory and a forge for you, Aelric, as well as a grand bedroom for each one of you. Also, your familiars are all here. You are all sat in this central space around a pianoforte, and Wyhand and Lord Captain Salome Turnpike are there. A couple of chairs appear, so there's enough for everyone, and they take a seat. Salome grabs a glass of dark liquor from a little liquor cabinet in the corner and sits down and jingles her glass to Wyhan, who flicks her finger and some ice appears in the glass. Much obliged. Wyhan at this point says, if you wouldn't mind, milady, I will request some time away. I have things myself I should deal with. Salome looks to the rest of you and says, of course. I mean, assuming none of our family needs any... Yes, Thaddeus, of course.
In the manner of my spell book.
Yes, of course. Yes, your spell book. Right, where? Yes, your spell book. Wyhan reaches into her robes, and instead of taking out a book, takes out a small spherical crystal about the size of a grapefruit. She hands this to you and says, this will be a much safer receptacle for your spells, Thaddeus. May I leave now, milady? Salome says, well, I mean, assuming no one else has anything they need from you, Wyhan, I'm certainly good. Would anyone else like a drink or maybe some ice? Anyone? Anyone?
I'm gonna go take a bath, and I run with my spell book into the bath, and that is going to, I don't know how many hours it would take for me to rememorize everything. Or we can figure that out. But I'm gonna start in the bath, memorizing all my spells again.
Amazing. It'll take you, it would take the length of a long rest. So about 8 hours.
Okay, well, it's going to take less time than I thought then. So I'm not going to go take a bath, but I'm going to like start mumbling about a bath to myself. And I'm going to stop paying attention for like 2 beats.
Amazing. Thad, mechanically, you have received a crystalline chronicle. I have added it into your inventory.
Crystalline.
Yeah. Salome looks to Arlie, Harold, and Aelric. You have nothing to ask? Yeah, Wyhan, you're good to go. Wyhan, I think you're good. Wyhan says, thank you, lady. And she walks out of the room. After she leaves, Salome turns to you, drink in hand. Thaddeus, just like looking at this crystalline chronicle in his hands, turns to the rest of you. So, that was the thing, wasn't it? Incredible. Wow. I never saw myself owning a castle, but thanks, brother, I suppose.
You're quite welcome. Imagine all of the raiding you can do from here.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately, I'm stuck here while all the fun is had somewhere else. Someone has to keep the homestead safe, am I right?
Well, I'm sorry that responsibility fell to you. I didn't ask to be sent to the tower, have my brawn ripped from me for brain, and forced to endure politics.
Oh, Thaddeus. Speaking as a wielder of magic, what are you complaining about exactly?
I don't know.
So, Arlie, I meant to speak to you, and Wyhan has assured me that this is a quite safe space. So, she takes a huge chug of her glass, emptying it in a single gulp, smashes it on the ground, and then reaches down to it, gathers up all the pieces of glass, picks it up, and as she turns her hand up, it is now put back together in a glass again.
Is this Salome or Wyhan or?
This is Salome. This is Thaddeus' sister.
And she followed us back to our quarters?
Wyhan just teleported all of you back to your quarters.
Including, like, officials from the courtroom? Is there anyone else?
She was the one that requested it, I think, right?
So the people currently in your home base, we're calling this like your home base apartments. The people there currently are you, Thaddeus, Harold, Aelric, and Salome. And she has just...
It must come in very helpfully. It must come in very helpfully since it seems that you and your family are prone to dropping things.
Yes, I seem to have misplaced my arm recently as well.
Thing you can grow another one.
Can I?
Arlie just looks like I assume. I look and I'm like, does she not have both arms?
She has one arm. She has a left arm. She has no right arm.
Okay, well, I thought I was unaware, so Arlie wouldn't say that. That comment. I thought, yeah. Okay, so she said, okay, just rewind because Arlie could see that she doesn't have two arms. So what she said?
She says, I seem to have dropped my arm recently as well.
Perhaps it should be less clumsy.
She's looking at you and then kind of like brings in other people. She is truly touched. You are touched by a god, Zivelin, yes? This is true. There's not some sort of a trick here.
Oh, you can't tell when someone is playing?
It's hard to tell with news on the sea. So much is lost through the many hands it passes by.
I wish you all the discernment that you need to see what is plainly in front of you.
Okay, she's going to make an insight check. Do you choose to resist in any way? Or to hide anything, I should say?
No, Arlie has nothing to hide.
Cool.
Like, I don't know what you, like, yeah, like...
Yeah.
No.
She looks at you. She takes her glass back to the table, fills it with the decanter with more liquid, and comes back to sit down at her seat. A lot has happened while you were all changing the world, shall we say. Last time I saw Thaddeus, he was being sent off to the tower, and we were losing our home. I've been at sea for the last few months. Last time I saw Thaddeus, I had my right arm. Last time I saw Thaddeus, there were no gods that I knew of. But we had heard something. There was something that reached us. News does come to us. We do have to see other people. We need supplies. I heard about you, Arlie. I didn't believe in it for a while. I only heard because Thaddeus was traveling with the cleric, the wandering cleric, the wandering cleric which none had seen for hundreds of years. At first I thought you had tricked us. Or your tower, at least. But then the stories continued, and it seemed like something was true. Either the gods were touched by you, or you had somehow harnessed them, or Thaddeus was giving you power and hiding behind you. I couldn't quite tell. Do you know what changed my mind?
No, I don't know anything about your mind. I try not to make suppositions about the minds of others.
Oh, very polite of you. It was a few fathoms deep when the light starts to turn twilight because the sun can't penetrate the water. My arm in the beak of a great octopus. I thought I was dead. Indeed, I was willing to go. I had saved my crew, one captain for the ship, a fair trade by any account. But then something touched me. And next I knew I was back aboard. I'd lost my arm, but I'd gained something else, and there was no one I could speak to. No one I could trust, let alone who might believe me. But your name kept circling through my mind. And for whatever reason, luck or destiny, we ended up in the same space. Arlie, you've been touched by, you said, Zivelin, the god of... what was it? A tree?
That's the tree of knowledge.
Oh.
I thought, and I'm just gonna be like, Thaddeus isn't in your culture. It's called Yggdrasil, isn't it? Isn't that what Thor said?
Yes, but we know it's not its own. It's more of a thing that other gods interact with than a god in and of itself.
The tree, Zivelin is not the literal tree. It's the metaphor.
I thought Zivelin isn't the. I thought the tree was Zivelin the entire time. I thought the tree was Zivelin the entire time.
They're gods. It could be Zivelin. I wouldn't limit. I wouldn't. I mean, somewhere Zivelin is a tree. I didn't think here exactly.
So let me ask you this, Candlewick, wandering cleric. Did you ask to serve your god?
No, that's not how that works. No. I mean, unless you just want to sort of scrub the floors of a temple, then yes, you choose anyone you like.
So you
But
didn't
otherwise-
choose Yggdrasil, Zivelin.
No, I think I mean, if Zivelin were to have chosen anyone, I would. Forsythia would make a much better, cleverer candidate than myself. But
And what does your god ask of you?
that I just be myself. It's really terrifyingly great.
Well, we were never directly tasked with anything, but Zivelin absolutely, I mean, gently, or not so gently, pushed us to bring the gods.
Zivelin didn't push us to do that.
Well, I mean, we got amulets that let us heal and signs and portents pointing us on the way and divine resurrections.
No, Zivelin was. I mean, I don't know why Zivelin appeared to meddle at the time that he did, but we could have gone either way. I freed them for Harold's sake. That's why I contributed to my turning of the key in the ring.
I mean, not to be a stickler on it, but I want to point out that Zivelin chose Harold.
Oh God, I'm just saying that we can't know.
I'm just saying that if we were all chosen by Zivelin, the only god, to not be trapped inside of the construct, and I do feel that I can speak freely and plainly as we are in our own rooms right now. Probably the only one who's bugging us is Wyham. But I'm just saying that clearly,
Your interpretation, which you're entitled to have.
sister, we have the spokesperson for a god who refuses to speak for a god.
Fuck. Well, here I was thinking that being touched by a god would provide some sort of insight into anything, but it seems like you're just as clueless as before,
No,
which
we're
doesn't
even-
help me.
It's even more confusing now. Everything will just get more confusing from here on in.
Shit.
What do you seek to know, Salome?
Suppose I seek guidance.
Are you trying to make friends?
She reaches in under the collar of her black dragon scale armor and pulls out a pendant. Arlie, you can give me a history check with advantage. Everyone else, if they want to identify, can give me a history check.
$16.
16?
Oh, actually, a 17. Pardon. Because my luck stone.
Oh, right, yeah. 16, 17, 17. Arlie and Thad, you both recognize this. This is a symbol of Pontos, the god of the sea.
This been about? What, do you keep handing me things and dropping them in front of me because you're trying to make friends? Is that?
I'm not giving you this.
No, you keep trying to hand me wine, and I don't want to take it. But now, like that's what she just. Yeah, that's what happened again. Before this interaction.
No, she drew out her necklace that has.
Yeah, Arlie's not responding to that. She was responding to. Did I? Maybe I got the image wrong. I thought she had offered Arlie another glass. Like I thought that happened.
Not in this room. No.
Oh, and then she dropped it and she picked up all the glass and it was all.
She broke a glass and then mended it.
Yeah, so that's what. And then she said, and then Harold said, "What are you seeking? And what is the information you're trying to get?" And she said, "I'm trying to get guidance, but it seems you're all clueless." And so then Arlie said, "Oh, are you trying? You keep coming in wherever we're going and dropping stuff in front of me because you're trying to make friends."
Oh,
and like that's the
She was being
Okay.
catty, boy.
okay. The timeline's a little bit different. Like, she broke it, she refilled it, but yeah. She says, Miss Juniper, I had truly hoped to find an ally in the only person I knew in the world who had been touched by a god. And it
See, fine.
seems like you
ally
do
game
not
is bad.
represent that for me.
That might be true, but just moving forward, try being nicer to people you'd like to be allies with. That's pretty nice. It's obviously that doesn't. But
Nice? You godforsaken commander. If I hadn't met you, I might have been chosen by the god of the ocean and spent the rest of my days sailing. And instead, because I bumped into you on an airship that crashed, I am now tied to a tree. Oh,
be a nice guy. Everybody wants to be a nice guy.
no, I can't. Does my sister speak Ender?
I am worried that
Let me see.
we've gotten off with each other on the wrong foot.
She does not. She looks to you, Harold.
Salome. Arlie did not take kindly to your advisor disappearing our friend without his consent or prior warning. Waihan works for you. Therefore, the responsibility for this act is yours. Nor would I imagine did she take kindly to you summoning us as though we were your servants. Arlie, Salome is offering us sanctuary from all of Salamnia and must for all the world appear as a ruler who is not playing favorites. It is what it is.
You have
But
to
if you
tell
don't wanna be
Waihan that
friends-
she's my servant at one point because she really doesn't like thinking that. Yes, Aelric. Where is he? She looks around. Where have you found yourself, Aelric? Oh, sorry, you're muted.
So I put myself at that chair, but Elric would actually have taken this chair and put it over here by what I guess is like a fireplace.
Sure,
kinda
it's a
hard to
fireplace.
see.
Let's call it
Sure.
a fireplace.
Yeah, I'm over there. That's right. Sitting in that
nice.
chair over there.
So Waihan looks across the room at you. Aelric, yes, I suppose...
Salome.
Sorry, Salome
You said
says...
Waihan.
My bad, Salome. Salome says, yes, Waihan, I suppose, as Mr. Gray said, I should apologize on Waihan's behalf for teleporting you without your consent. Waihan assured me that it was essential, considering the state of the coalition and their vote. I assume you were able to deadlock that for a moment, at least?
Yes, I was saying in the other room. I bought us some time, but it was not a negotiation. I firmly believe this is what we should be doing. And as far as the teleportation goes, that's unfortunately been the through line of the most recent days.
And what is it that you are doing that you believe so much in?
Not going to war without at least first having a conversation with these gods if we can. I don't know what this world was the last time these gods were banished. I don't know how this Council of 12 came together, but as I look around and as I've lived in this mammalian world, you don't have the continuity of purpose to bring the gods to heal again. You go to war, they will wipe you out.
Spoken like a true soldier.
I am a true soldier. So, the way that I see it, we should send Arlie as our emissary to whatever emissary or whatever temple or whatever ritual site, whatever these gods use as their place of communion, and see if we can get in contact with any of them. We were speaking to gods every day for months. I'm sure we can convince one of them to have a conversation with us. What would you say, Harold, Arlie, Thad? Does this sound advisable?
Convinced the library cat isn't a direct connection to Zip. Where's that cat? Oh, library cat.
Give me a luck roll.
I swear, Zippelin listens through library cat.
If you want, you can give me a luck roll to see if the library cat's there.
Okay. You were not joking.
No, yeah.
I have rolled a 10. 20-sided die.
With a 10, that is low. You don't find the cat. That is below. Yeah.
I was trying to decide as I thought my party would decide. With Thad's guile and Harold's wisdom and Arlie's insight, I made the best judgment that I could.
Oh, you get advantage. You get advantage on looking for the cat. Amazing. Thank you, Annie. I rolled a 9. The cat does not want to be found.
This is the way of cats.
Amazing. Salome hits one of the keys on the piano. She's sitting on the piano, just hits a key, hits another key. She says, well, sometimes I forget that you have been away for so long doing whatever it is that you do. Let me update you. Thaddeus, you took control of a useless satellite on a large empire between an invading army and Solamnia. Kalaman had absolutely no use to us. It was a liability, and it caused conflict between us and the state of Solamnia. That is until you released the gods and activated some sort of a magical force field, at which point it became one of the safest, most valuable cities on the continent. So, thanks.
You're welcome.
Meanwhile, our father has been trying to maintain order with the refugees of Nordmar. We are a flotilla, armada, however you want to call it. We come and go. It is contentious. It's difficult enough to maintain order when we're on land. Now that we're back at sea, different rules apply, and, well, there are snakes. But I am here to maintain a beachhead and a place where we can safely restock, resupply, and hopefully have some moments of respite off of the high seas. I was forced to make some political maneuvers to ensure our independence. You were a part of that. I apologize if it hurt your feelings, but it is what it is. Now, under Turnpike law in the city of Kalaman, I can ensure your safety. Outside of these borders, I'm afraid I cannot ensure that. But the question comes, of course, down to what you, as the emissaries of the gods, wish to do. The country of Solamnia wants to see you for a trial. High treason, I believe it is, allegedly. We all know where that trial would probably lead. Solamnia is the largest voice in the new refounded coalition, and the coalition is looking for war. They never really wanted the gods around. Indeed, they were formed to oppose them, so they only know opposition to the gods. If you were to stay here in Kalaman, I would ask that you operate as any member of my city do, which is to use your skills to further our causes. Of course, you are not members of Kalaman. Thaddeus, you are a member of the Order of the Magi, therefore I have no sway over you. Arlie, Miss Candlewick, you are an emissary of the gods themselves, the Wandering Cleric. I have no sway over you. Harold, I think your uses are more valuable than any title. And Aelric, you would lead a great army. The problem is that you do not have an army to lead. And even were you to have one, I'm not sure if you knew which direction you would point it. So, we sit here in a bit of a quagmire. I can protect you, but I'm not sure I really want you here for any long time, because the longer you're here, the more conflict that creates between us and the country of Salomnia. And in case you forget, there is still an army that is taken over both Kur and Nordmar, and, well, we would like our land back. So my question is, what are you to do now? Where are you going? What are you doing?
May I make a suggestion to the group, as we have not yet had a chance to discuss that
Oh,
amongst
you
ourselves?
don't even know. Incredible. That makes me feel a lot better. She goes and pours herself another drink.
Day.
And that, Elric stands, picks up his chair, throws it right across the room, marches right up to her, and says, I don't know who you are. I don't even care who you are. But you will not speak to us like that again. We've put our lives on the line for this place, for your family, again and again. I will not have my brothers and sister tormented and disrespected by a one-armed goat wearing the skin of my brethren. I will nail you to the wall if you don't back off right now.
You have got to learn some ally skills. Really, you're coming off terribly. You are not making good.
Eric, roll me a wisdom check. Wisdom saving throw. Wisdom saving throw.
Damn it. It's my worst thing. She's gonna make me dance like a marionette.
You're very... Okay.
6.
Can I...
She stands right up into your face and she says, with guidance, with 6 guidance won't help, I'm afraid. She stands right into your face, Elric, and she says, try it. Elric. Oh no, the gods have spoken. Try again. Vicavar is giving you a chance to try again.
It never works on my wisdom saving throws. You should have saved your money, Gigabar. It never works on my wisdom. I don't know why. It's so cursed.
Give it another shot. You get another shot. 4. Amazing.
It's always on the wisdom.
Elric, she walks up to you and instigates your rage. But you feel an inability to follow through on any of the very real threats you just made. Anyone present can give a arcane check if they're interested. Elric, something is preventing you from fulfilling the threat you just made. Arlie and Thad, you see as and Harold with an 18, 16, 19. You all see as Salome steps up to confront Aelric, she casts the sanctuary spell on herself. Do it, dragon. Try it.
Dispel magic. Cute.
You want to cast Dispel Magic?
Yeah. Sanctuary.
You'll have to roll a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Bad
What?
something.
Oh no, this they need to figure out the pecking order right now. This is
Let me see the saving throw. You pass the saving throw, Arlie. You're able to cast Dispel Magic. You cast Dispel Magic, Elric. The resistance to your behavior drops.
big guy.
Are consequences for your actions and the things that you say, Salome.
Gruesome twosome. I'm gonna need you both to calm down. You have now said you were very big, you were very scary, you know how to handle god magic better than the new god magic kitten does. Yes, 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 you're both very big. Sister, they're very big.
Really not big. That's fine.
They are armies within themselves at this point. We have fought. How many dragons have we killed? We've killed dragons. I killed dragon. I killed a dragon.
Wait, you killed a dragon?
Is that as the DM or my sister?
That's your sister. Your sister, like, fully is just like, wait, you killed a dragon?
So I killed a dragon. I also almost
But you
killed
you actually killed a dragon? Like a real
Yes,
dragon?
a real. Well, it was a shadow dragon.
Well, that counts, doesn't it?
Yes, but it was. Yes, it absolutely has.
Oh my God, Thad, you've always wanted to kill a dragon.
I always wanted to kill a dragon.
No, you still, like, you would keep me up at night being like, I'm going to kill a dragon.
It loses that kind of punch when the dragon kills you first, but yes, I killed a dragon.
You were killed by a dragon?
Yes.
By
The
this
shadow
dragon? She points to Elric.
That's why he's
No, like a giant shadow dragon whose breath turns your soul into a shade under its service for the rest of eternity. I died at the very beginning of the battle. It opened its mouth, it breathed its shadow flame, and then my soul was burned to a crisp.
Okay, I think I take back what I said before. I don't want you all here. Clearly you are far too dangerous. Luckily, I have something you might want. If you choose to go by land, of course, that's your own prerogative. You can do that however you want. I can get you whatever. But I can offer you voyage by sea.
Sister, may I suggest, as the only other... No, let me reframe this another way. Geopolitics that you have been discussing no longer exist. There's only astral politics now. And the only two people that we know of in the world that are on the side of the sky would be her, pointing down, and you. So I agree that we should probably not stay here for too very long, but I suggest that you continue to keep your doors open if we need a safe port in a storm.
Oh, brother, of course, you're always welcome here in a storm. But I believe the storm has passed, and to be frank, I'm not sure I trust you here for more than a fortnight. Not that I mistrust any of you, I just think that you all seem to be lightning rods of celestial power.
Does Wyhan know you're touched?
No. Well, she hasn't shown it if she does. I can't tell with that woman. Do you like her?
No.
Okay,
But-
good, because I really don't like her.
He's incredibly dangerous, incredibly crafty, and
She freaks me out. She's, like, terrifying.
But the one thing that I may suggest, sister, is if she has not bring it up to you, do not, unless if your life or her life is in jeopardy, under any circumstances be tempted to tap into your power.
Thank you for the reminder. I didn't intend to. But then again, you can't tell with her. She's a tricky one. But useful for now. Lord Tiamaticus,
Are you all?
your title of Duke is still honored here. Yes, Mr. Gray.
You asked us what we wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
We've barely had a day since the incident with Backlund.
That was weeks ago.
For you, yes. We got pulled into gaudy stuff.
Oh.
It's complicated.
I'm starting
I
to
would
get
like
that.
to give you a fulsome answer, but we need time to consider the new information that we've received. Might I recommend that we reconvene tomorrow? You are welcome to come calling on us here.
Of course. Of course. I did not realize it had been such a little time for you. I'm still myself learning what it means to interact with the gods. It's not good. It sucks, actually. I think I would have preferred to die.
You know
Do you
that
feel the
feeling?
same way, Arlie?
Say that I have, but I'm trying to respect Thad's telling off.
Let me be clear, Miss Candlewick. Thaddeus is my brother. For all the love I have of him, I hate him equally, and he abandoned our family when he joined the Towers of the Mages. You and I share a different kinship in that both of us have been touched by gods.
The key to my freedom. And
To
I have
freedom.
relished in every ridiculous moment. And everything that has followed since the moment I dreamt of that knowledgeable tree.
Fascinating.
That's because you wouldn't know what it's like to be trapped in a tower with nothing but books. Or maybe that's your thing.
No.
I don't know. I don't know
No,
you.
indeed, every moment since the moment I was touched by God, I've felt my freedom taken from me. Interesting. Interesting. I have a lot to consider myself. Yes, it makes only total sense that you should have some time to consider your positions and reacclimate yourself to, from wherever you were. I welcome you again to my city. Thaddeus, thank you again for somehow stumbling into this. And just so you know, there is a ship at port that is stocked and ready to sail. You will recognize it when you see it. Thaddeus, it is your favorite design. I decided to give it a title fitting for such a crew. I call it The Apostate. And when you are ready to leave, it is yours. I will see you in the morning.
Harold nods to her.
Yes. It's very generous of you, sister. Good night.
Think nothing of it, brother. She looks up at Aelric. If I had my right arm.
You'd die twice as fast.
It's that confidence that I love to see drain from my enemy's eyes. She slaps you on the side. Aelric, give me an insight check.
Insight?
Yeah.
Wisdom again. It's the worst. 15.
With a 15,
Is that
Elric.
shit? There.
Elric, with a 15, as she claps you on the side, there is a moment of recontextualization as she hits you as a soldier would. And you realize that the politics you have seen her act are through the lens of a different type of soldier than you might be used to. She is a sailor. And not only a sailor, she is a pirate. This is a woman who understands the camaraderie of soldiering and also the isolation of being on the sea. There is only power, only command through power. And what you have expressed, and what she will never give up, is power and command. And she respects the hell out of it.
Well, good to hear. Cool. Good insight check. It's about time I had wisdom go my way.
Says goodbye to everyone. Very formal bow to Miss Candlewick, and turning to Harold says, Harold, of course, in the morning might be too soon. I fully understand your condition. Let me know through any of the servants of the city and, take the time you need. I will say that by the new moon, I expect you to go with the high tide. The new moon is...
Harold nods.
The new moon is 2 weeks out. She nods and leaves. As the door closes behind her, Arlie, you feel something on your leg.
Yeah, there it is.
Obviously, library cat. I look down, assuming it's library cat. Are you purring, Koi? I can't. It's like...
I think it's stopping me from doing it. It's just not allowing
editing
the
you out.
Purr.
That's a background sound.
Wouldn't it be funny if it hadn't been library cat, though?
Seriously, this just makes me think that you are an agent of Zivlin because of the timing. Like, if you had been here when I was like, look, are you Zivlin? I feel like it would have been obvious that you're a cat, but very suspicious.
And she just does a flop onto her back, exposing her fluffy belly. And as the apartments come alive with the honk of a goose that is chasing a small rat with a large hat and feather in it. Oh my God, you are a demon from hell. As the goose chases Squeak Noir through the apartments. I'm going to say that leaves us for the end of episode 2. And thank you everyone so much for a wonderful second episode. We will return next week as a bit of downtime where the party has, for the first time since a long time, an opportunity to take a breath and think about what the hell is going on and what the hell are we going to do. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone in the chat. You guys are Legion. I know it. I see it. And until next time, same Legion channel, same Legion. What was the dice? I'm stealing from Eric. Keep rolling them dice? I also have to say, actually, watch on Wednesday. I'm going to be playing with Eric. It's going to be some fun times. Episode 2. So let me reset. Keep watching us on Wednesday. It's going to be great. Keep rolling them dice. And we...
In Candlewick Manor, born to nobility, Ollie danced through life with frivolity. Parties and balls, a life so grand. Little did she know what fate had planned. Ollie, the wandering Candlewick, chosen by Zivlin, her destiny's now mystic from towers of paper to the open road, a reluctant cleric with powers bestowed. Plucked from luxury, thrust into robes, surrounded by tomes and dusty old globes, but Ollie's mind sharp as a tack, mastered the legalese others did lack. Contracts and bylaws, she knew them all. Her litigious prowess made bureaucrats fall. In mazes of paperwork, she'd find a way to bend the rules and see across the land. But Arnie sees more than meets the eye. All timelines at once, futures that fly. Past, present, future, all intertwined. Sometimes leaving the present behind. More than meets the eye. All timelines at once, futures that fly. Past, present, future, all intertwined. Sometimes leaving the present behind.